A routine ends, and the world goes silent. Early evening, Maya steps from the bus. Neon hums on damp pavement. Her phone buzzes a final promise, almost home. Then a man with an official tone asks for just a moment. A lanyard glints as she pivots, taking 3 steps that will carry her off the map. The lure can be a uniform, a flash of false authority that demands a small courtesy in a public place. A last verified sighting shows it clearly, an unplanned turn, shoulders tightening toward a decoy car idling at the curb. Or the trap is laid online, where weeks of jokes and check-ins drift into the real world. A meeting at a busy cafe. Cameras catch 2 heads leaning close, then an altered path through a side exit. In the noise and crowd, who would notice one person walking just half a step behind? Sometimes the lure is trust itself, a fabricated search for a lost dog, a simple act of kindness twisted into an exit. Vanished, in plain sight. This is the modern threat. Our constant connection blurs the line between stranger and service. Our apps, ride-shares, and deliveries move in the same orbit as our daily lives. Predators learn to mimic these rhythms, and the footage reveals the smallest warnings, a hurried nod, a hand shielding a phone screen, an unnecessary detour. These tiny edits to a day rewrite everything. We trace the last signal to the first inconsistency, the story that shifts, the car that appears twice. We follow the script they use, moment by pressured moment, to find the exact second the day truly breaks. By dawn, the town becomes a searchlight, but every shadow hides another question. Volunteers fan out along the creek, wet grass beating on their cuffs. A detective warms his hands on a paper cup near the faint tread marks where she stepped off the bus, just as the streetlights click off one by one. The digital trail is precise. Phone records map the seconds. A transit pass pings a final location. But then the tips begin to bloom and wilt. A ransom text arrives, the slang a shade off. A stranger shares a selfie from the corner store, but the clock behind him is wrong. Investigators learn to see the staging, the note folded too neatly, the profile suddenly active with old photos. They notice the man in the gray hoodie at every vigil, his tears always a breath late. Each clue seems bright, then collapses. And through it all, Maya's mother answers every call, her voice holding both hope and dread in the same impossible space. As days turn to weeks, the search evolves. Drones give way to door-to-door knocks. Viral shares give way to one neighbor recalling a driver who never met anyone's gaze. In a world of digital noise, knowing which echo to follow is everything. And often, it's a single contradiction that breaks the stalemate. A car reported as white, but reflecting red paint under a street lamp. A receipt timestamp that shatters a claimed alibi. The community responds with ribbons on fences and new conversations in schools, teaching the patterns without feeding the fear. Because sometimes one small inconsistency finally points toward the one person who is always nearby, hiding in plain sight.